through all these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's your boy Scott here. It is March 16th, 2023, Thursday, March 16th, 2023. If you are a big college basketball fan, you're enjoying the beginning of March Madness. We're in the last couple weeks before the NBA playoffs is kicking off, and this is the official start of NFL offseason, man. Started on Wednesday, so we got a lot of stuff to get into. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. You know to follow H&B Media on Twitter and Instagram at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. Follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to get into, man, and I'm going to share my sound off today, man, as we bring my first guest on, my only guest on today. This guy, you may know him as the co-founder of Barberchair Network. And if you are a 79th and Hollis fan, you listen to us each and every week as we talk about Bears football. My brother Flows, you know to follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Flows and Dolini. How's it going?
First of all, you're welcome for jumping onto your show. I'm sure that I have blessed this show and made it even better. Secondly, I am doing great because I am gathering. So if you can't see in the background right now, but I have a black tux. It's a nice little bow tie. Got a nice little hat. Got a trench coat as I'm preparing for the Packers funeral.
That is
it. Scott have a cousin named Boo, who is a diehard Packers fan.
Unfortunately.
And I'm gonna say diehard. He jumped ship because he wasn't in them trenches. That's all I'm gonna say. After they won that little Super Bowl in 2011, he jumped ship. They ain't won since. Hilarious. So all that jumping ship did not pay off, but he did that, and I called him today, and I said, "It's over. It's over. Everything you thought you knew is gone." I said, "He's like, well, man, Jordan Love." I said, "No." I said,
lightning doesn't strike three times.
I said, "We're about to get in that ass." I was like, "You'll know pain you never felt." I said, "Welcome to mediocrity."
It is a glorious feeling. I usually don't sound. This is perfect time to share my sound off because we both hate this motherfucker. Aaron Rodgers, if you've been living under a rock, now we'll get into my actual media pundit, non-biased bag later on in the show where I will give the football reason to why it helps the Jets. But fuck that. I have had 16 years of pent-up aggression inside of me since September 2008, when the reins from Brett Favre, who should be in a prison cell right now, transferred over to Aaron Rodgers. I have not known peace. In the 27 games that we have played against this man, he is 22-5. Do you understand how bad it is? We played him twice a year. 5 wins, like 4 different quarterbacks in that time. Every time you think the Bears will be able to do something, he comes and bites us in the ass. I remember just ridiculous blowouts. I remember how they used to always schedule the Bears on Sunday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and it would always be at Lambeau Field. It would never be a Soldier Field. It was always a Lambeau Field.
And also, those 5 wins, I want to check on those. I feel like only one of those or 2 of those were legitimate wins. Did he get injured in 2 of those?
No, he was no. Those are the only ones we beat him when he played the whole game.
Okay.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, you can remember all 5. I got 2018 when they clinched the division. 2015 on Thanksgiving during Brett Favre's jersey retirement.
Is that that last second it came out to a 4th down or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
2010, when remember Devin didn't have a touchdown for like 3 years. And it was on Monday Night Football. So he hopped over Buddy to get into the end zone.
That's right.
That was that one. You know what's fucked up? I can't remember the other 2. I can't even remember.
I can't either.
Those are the 3 that I remember. And so we go through all of this, and it's finally over. I walked in the Staples Center yesterday, big ass smile on my face. And one of the Clippers media there, we were in the warm-ups. We were watching Jordan Poole doing his warm-ups. And he's like, "Oh, you got a Bears hat on." I'm like, "You a Packers fan?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "It's a sad day for you. You are not recovering from this one." Bears fans should feel great. Now we're gonna get into the free agency and stuff like that, but I promised the fans a burial, and that's what the fuck we're gonna do tonight. It's over. Okay. All those little years about saying how the Bears are trash. And obviously the Bears aren't good yet. We still got a little way
No.
to go. But look, y'all ain't better than us. Them.
And here's also the thing. Yes, for years you all have dominated the Bears. You've had every right to talk down to Bears fans. When there was a conversation and we won out of a fluke, something happened and we talked and you were like, we're going to beat you next time. It typically was true. I'm just sorry to tell you, it's over with. Those days are gone now. We're about to start smoking you. First of all, the rest of the division is going to be about to be a stump fest.
Yes.
It's going to be a fight back, nigga. It's going to be that whole meme and the division beating you up. So you got what you got coming, man. When you the king of the hill for so long on a division like NFC North, and now you're dethroned officially, it happens. This is what you get.
Yes, it is what you get. I know a lot of you were saying, Jordan Love, we don't know what he is. Yeah, we don't know what he is. I tell you what, though, lightning don't strike 3 times, okay? Lightning don't strike 3 times, and it got to the point yesterday where, I didn't know the Detroit Lions fans existed. I didn't know they existed like that because they came out the woodworks. They came out the woodworks, and there was a whole bunch of back and forth.
I'm going to assume most of them actually ain't been really down with the Lions. At least I guess I've people that I've followed on Twitter for a long time. It wasn't until this year where it's like, oh man, yeah, we back now. We finna do this. We finna do that. And I'm like, I don't remember seeing you during the worst times of the pack of the Lions. And now that's happening, all of a sudden, you're this super diehard fan.
Yes. We're going to bring you back in a minute. Oh, there we are. Here we go. We can see it right now. Okay. I thought you were frozen for a minute, but now we're back. Yeah, I think the thing about it is right here is like if you're a Packer fan, this is what you should be upset about. The fact that you had this dude for all this time. In fact, you had 2 back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and you went home with 2 in 30 years. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You might have beat up on us, beat up on the Vikings, beat up on the Lions, but next year, nobody's going to be taking any mercy on you guys. And then you guys going to have to get to see Rodgers go off the Jets, and I think they're going to do pretty fucking well. They're going to do pretty well. And now you just have to think about what it's like to be a regular fan. To be a regular fan of knowing what it's like that you don't have a quarterback to just, take care of all the other deficiencies on your football team. It's a wrap. You're going to be in the projects, and you're going to be in the projects for a long damn time. So I'm telling you right now, it's not fun. Now, we'll wonder from the NFL side of things, how many times they going to put us on national TV now? Yeah, put us on national TV now. Please do. So you can see us beating them every damn time we play them. I don't really give a damn what the schedule looks like. I want to win those games by a ridiculous margin. These next couple of years, you gotta go out there and you gotta set the tone on both on this team going forward, man. But I think it's time to talk about actual Bears free agency. Now, Joe, do we still have you here, or is your internet kind of slow right now? We might have to come back to you.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, yeah. Can we see? We need to ask Pavi in the chat. Oh, there we go. Okay, because it's been fading in and out. This is what happens when you go live. But Bears, as we're on there, the Bears got another signing. Let me see who this is. Deonta Freeman. Okay, Pavi said you have been freezing from time to time as I thought. So we have a running back signing. But let's talk about the main moves that the Bears have made over this last week. Now, last time I was on here, I was talking about the eventual trade that was going to happen for the number 1 draft pick, and that happened. Bears traded the number 1 draft pick to the Carolina Panthers for this year's 9th pick in the 2023 draft, the 2024 first round pick, and the second round in 2025. And they got number 1 wide receiver, DJ Moore. Now I'm going to name off the rest of the moves, and we'll talk about them, which ones we think are the best. The first signing, I think this was actually the first signing period in the NFL during free agency, was TJ Edwards, former linebacker of the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFC champions, signed for 3 years, $19 million, $7.9 million is guaranteed. Tremaine Edmonds signed for 4 years, $72 million, $50 million guaranteed. And they signed guard Nate Davis, 3 years, $30 million, $19.25 million guaranteed. Running back Travis Homer, 2 years, $4.5 million. Defensive end, DeMarcus Walker, 3 years, 21 million, 16 million guaranteed. And then finally, PJ Walker, 2 years, 5 million. Let's talk about the trade first. What do you feel about, this trade? Do you think that Ryan Poles got the most he could get? And what do you think that DJ Moore is going to bring to the Bears?
No, I think Ryan Poles got definitely the most he was going to get in terms of having the number 1 draft pick. You're getting, is it 4 picks?
Yes, it's 3 picks.
3 picks. So you're getting the 9th pick to 62nd. No, it's 4. And I thought they were getting 1 for first round in 2024 and then a second round in 2025.
You're right. In the second round, 2000. Yeah.
And then you got DJ Moore. And seeing the wide receiver market, because the last big splash was Juju Smith-Schuster. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was a pretty good deal that Ryan Poles did, especially considering that the wide receiver free agency was mid, really, or full of players who were a little bit older. So, no, I thought that was a great pickup for the Bears. 4 picks, DJ Moore, excellent trade. I don't think you could get better than that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the thing right now, first of all, it caught me off guard. I didn't think it was going to happen that damn quickly. I did think that it would be something that we'd probably get closer to draft time. But I think that he got the most he could get from him. I think the whole time I didn't think they were going to be able to get a player for this draft pick. I thought it would just be, future assets going forward. But one of the biggest holes on this team was wide receiver. I mean, we all sat up there in Soldier Field and on the road multiple games last season, and we did not know who. Of course, we knew who the dudes are, but we saw just how difficult it was for Justin not only to be running running for his life with the offensive line, but having nobody to pass to downfield. So to bring in a guy like DJ Moore, who nobody questions that he is a number 1 talent in this league as far as a number 1, but to bring him in with a quarterback like Justin Fields, I think that people who aren't familiar with him, and one thing I did learn this week, that a lot of people don't watch the amount of football they say they watch, because there's been a lot of signings across the world. People's like, I never heard of him. So I do think it brings something, number 1. Now it has Justin. There's no excuses for Justin now. If you're one of the people in the crowd of people who think that, Justin has to prove he can throw the football, if you're in that stupid crowd, now he has a legit wide receiver core. You've got, you already got the chemistry that he has with Darnell Mooney. And then you sign, Chase Claypool during the regular season. Now you get DJ Moore. And to add that on with, Cole Kmet, he's got an actual, offensive set now going forward. And I think that's huge.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. It's like, we said on Second Night at the House, Chase Claypool can now have a little less pressure on him because he can sit back into that number 2 role, and he doesn't have the focus of the defense on him. On top of that, Darnell Mooney will be healthy, and it won't literally be on him. Darnell Mooney has a chance to now establish himself and maybe become that number 2, because as of right now, DJ Moore is that bona fide number 1. This is a person who is consistently gets those 1,000 yards. Even last year when dealing with 3 different quarterbacks, still managed to get 900 yards. And he had almost his most touchdowns this year with 7. And so I think that's really just a good situation for him. And it takes pressure off everybody, and you're going to have to work on targeting all of them individually instead of just honing in. Because when you do that, I think one of the others. So if you target DJ Moore, you give opportunities for Darnell Mooney to come up, and you give opportunities for over the top or over you jump ball passes from Chase Claypool.
Definitely, man. Let's get to the linebacker signings, the defense. You really rebuilt your whole linebacking core. I mean, one of the things we looked at last season with the Bears was just, how kind of it was different. It was first time in 5 years where we haven't had Roquan. Yeah, Roquan first couple games. When you take Roquan, it was a full linebacker by committee for half the season. And we saw a lot of good things from Jack Sanborn. Now you go out there, you get a guy like TJ Edwards, the Chicago guy who was on the Philadelphia Eagles, had a great season last year. And I said last week on our 7 Night at the Hallis off-season preview that I wanted Tremaine Edmonds. Now, I didn't think they were going to actually get him, but they got him. This linebacker core now has speed, and you add Jack Sanborn to that. I know a lot of people are like, why are you paying, prime money to something that's not really a need right now? But as Impose said in his press conference, you're going off, you don't want to pass off great players just because you want to go to need first. What do you think about his strategy and with him going for these guys, even though that necessarily wasn't like a top 3 Bears issue?
Well, here's the thing: is when you're dealing with trying to rebuild a team and restructure a team, when you have so many holes to fill, your inclination is probably to go after the ones you need first, which are defensive linemen, offensive linemen. And in that process, you can sometimes overlook having players that you need picked up. Linebacker is probably not the first position Bears fans think of when they think of a need. There are people on Twitter who are highly upset, like, why are you getting this person? Because you need so much more. You need this and that. But I'm like, well, at the same time, why it's not the most or the biggest need, you have T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, these two linebackers who, T.J. Edwards, I thought was coming off his best year as a pro. I'm pretty sure he was amongst the leaders in total tackles in the NFL. I'll have to verify. But these last 2 years have been monstrous for him. He's been great. And you know what Tremaine Edmonds does. I don't think I really need to say how good of a player he is. So why not get him if they're available and they would like to contribute to Chicago? That's the whole thing. Why not do it if it's available? And so I'm not seeing the problem when you can get the people. You can get them right there. They're available. They want to contribute. Go after them. Yes, it's not the priority, but you're still filling a need. Because right now within the O-linemen, we saw Orlando Brown Jr. and McGlinchey. Like I told you, I was fine with Orlando Brown. As you were saying on 7 After Hollis, he's good. It's not something I'm going to jump a joy for, but it's good. Yeah, that was pretty much your free agency pool.
Yeah.
So you didn't get those players, but you got the 2 best linebackers available, and they're going to fit your scheme perfectly. Some people were concerned about Roquan and why was you paying him if you're going to pay Tremaine Edmonds this money? The issue is that Roquan is just not a 4-3 linebacker.
Right.
He's a 3-4 linebacker, and he went back to a 3-4, and what did he do? He started to shine. Tremaine Edwards is going to fit better in our system. T.J. Edwards is going to fit better in the Bears system. So why not allow something like that? Why not do that? You knew Roquan wasn't going to fit. Still a great player. He just wasn't going to fit. So trade him. You get some picks. You get some leverage, something back for it, and then now you get what you need. So I don't know. Bears fans confuse me because they get upset about these things. And as journalists, as analysts, we try to do our best to be objective. I think objectively speaking, if you're filling a hole that you need, what's the issue? I guess I look at it like I'll take an example of you have a boat right now. Your boat is sinking. There are literally holes within the boat.
Right.
Now, there's one that's closer to the stern that you need to get because it's bigger. But you have 4 right in front of you, and you have pegs that you can fix them with. If you fill those pegs quickly, then move on to what you have to do in the stern. I don't think people at the boat are going to say, why did you fill those holes? We need to fill this one first.
Right, exactly.
You're still taking care of a need. It's there, it's available, take care of it, move on. So it's simply as that. So I don't see the issue that Bears fans bring up. And it's funny because Bears fans have the most smoke for these moves, whereas other teams or other fans of other teams, even other analysts, national analysts are saying those are great moves. So who's in the wrong here?
Yeah, and the thing, like so I think everybody gets attached to these wish lists they have of, oh, I need this player, we need this player. And one thing that Ryan Poles has told you from the day he came on as general manager, we're going to mainly build through the draft. And I tweeted that, and I had, a couple, God bless people who listen to our podcast. A couple of them was like, well, that's GM speak. Nobody fully builds through the draft. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying ignore free agency. But if you look at the 2 teams that were just in the Super Bowl,
hold on. I'm sorry. I'm about to cut you off. Who doesn't? It's just such a weird thing to say. First of all, when you're saying don't build, as GM speak, teams don't build through the draft. So what do you mean by build? You know what? We're going to have ourselves a little bit of a semantic lesson. To build, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is to construct something by putting parts or materials together. So you're constructing something, right? You're constructing a roster. You're putting a roster together. Or to build also means to make stronger. So how do you not build through the draft? I don't understand that. It never made sense to me. It's literally putting parts together, and veterans, typically in free agency, veterans that you sign are the glue. The parts that you sign are in the draft, the veterans are the glue. But every sport builds through the draft. Think of a team that went on a tear in the NBA, in the NFL, in the MLB. MLB is a little different. The NBA, NFL and the NBA that didn't have players that they built through the draft, and then they combined some veterans with.
I mean, look at the Golden State Warriors. That's a prime example. The Warriors are a dynasty because of the main players they drafted. The big three there.
They didn't need KD. They just had KD.
Right, exactly. They because of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. And then remember the first ever free agent signing, the big free agent signing was Andre Iguodala. And that took them to the next kind
and what
of
was
thing.
he? He was the glue.
Yep.
When you're looking at the 90s Bulls, let's say the first three-peat, how was that done? Draft
and trades.
The next three-peat, that was majority draft with free agent signed.
Look at the Lakers. Drafted Kobe Bryant, traded for Kobe Bryant, signed Shaquille O'Neal. Bam, there's your nucleus. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what you're seeing there.
When you're looking, even with the Patriots, their run, that was drafted.
Both runs.
That was drafted.
Yep.
And the time that they went free agent heavy, it didn't work. So I don't. It just makes no sense when we say you don't build through the draft. That's GM speak. GM speak is we're finding out the whys, and now we're going to come together and collaborate.
The Matt Nagy whys.
Who has the biggest laughs on all of us now? But anyway, that is GM speak. That's coach speak. To say you build through the draft isn't speak. It isn't some sort of coded language that you don't really use in reality. It is the bona fide truth.
Yep.
Because if in a normal draft, you have 7 picks to choose from. During free agency, how often do you make some huge splash where you're bringing in 7 key players or 5 key players? You're typically going to have 1 or 2 players per year, some depth around it. So, didn't understand
Definitely. We're going to wrap this up before we get you out of here. Just want to go quickly over these next couple, signings. A lot of these with depth. Now, as we're on air, it just announced that the Bears have just signed from the Carolina Panthers. Deonta Foreman, I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but he was great in Carolina last year. He actually had better numbers than David Montgomery. David Montgomery had 201 carries, and he had 5 touchdowns, 801 yards, while Foreman had 203 carries, 914 yards, same amount of touchdowns. This is going to be a guy who's going to, join right in with Khalil Herbert. And they're really starting to see these depth things that are really going to help out for the Bears. And of course, you got Nate Davis, who's a guard who they picked up from Tennessee. DeMarcus Walker,
was a very good pick.
Real good pick. DeMarcus Walker, defensive end from Tennessee. Also, he had 7 sacks, which is more than anybody on the Bears last year. And the one I really liked, PJ Walker is a backup quarterback who kind of plays the same type of game as Justin. If Justin misses a game or two, he's a guy who has experience and also has good chemistry with DJ Moore. So what do you think about these, depth signings that Poles is kind of closing free agency out with?
Nate Davis, I'm assuming, is competing for a starting job, I believe. Now, in terms of PJ Walker, here's the thing. Imagine you're a wide receiver. For 12 games out the year, you're playing with Justin Fields. He moves around the pocket. The pocket gets manipulated. Sometimes when there's too much pressure, it breaks down. He moves and he does his thing. And then he gets injured, and now you have Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian, I think, is a very good backup. I think for any team who signs him, you're getting a good backup because he knows what he's doing in those roles. No worries. Gets the job done, calls it a day. I felt the same way about Chase Daniels when he was here a few years ago. He's going to get the job done.
Yep.
I felt the same way, but even Andy Dalton is a backup. You saw what he did. He played himself to some money. But they're all good backups who get the job done. The problem is that when you go from a style that's so different from your starter, it's jarring, and it can that muscle memory is play breakdown. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to the quarterback who's going to find things on his own. Maybe I have to block. Maybe I have to make sure I'm getting upfield because he's going to launch because he has a cannon. And it's weird when you go from someone who is categorically different than that. And so now with PJ Walker, he's going to have a good veteran, a good player. I don't know if he's. I don't know how young he is. He's been in the league. I'm going to say he's a athletically gifted player who can serve as a good veteran. Hopefully, you don't need him. That you'll have a good line and it'll be straight, and you won't have to deal with the fact that it's going to break down and PJ Walker or Justin Fields has to run around and find you. And now when it comes to Nate Davis himself, I had to literally look it up, make sure I wasn't saying it incorrectly. He's going to be a starter because he's only played in 55 games. He started 54. Yeah. He's coming in as your starter to save these, or he's going to compete for that starting role. And out of what I've seen him, because I didn't watch Titans games, I had literally watched just a couple games of him. I like what he does. I like his footwork, and I think he has a solid strength. So I'm very, very happy with that. There's Homer, who I don't know if that's a special team signing.
It's going to be mainly special teams. That's what Poles was talking about in the press conference there. It's going to be mainly special teams.
And special teams, man, there's a conversation, if you ever look online, and it's a reporter who asked Bill Belichick about the snapper, the role of a snapper, a long snapper. And Bill Belichick, because he loves special teams so much, gave him an 8-minute answer. I've never seen Bill Belichick so happy and so enthusiastic, because special teams is an important part of the game. Special teams can ruin a game. Yes. And if you were a Bears fan during the 2000s, it can change the game.
Can win a game. Yeah.
He changed the game, ladies and gentlemen. If you know the infamous words.
Torrey
Holt of the St. Louis Rams. So, no, I do think free special team signings are always key. And what Seahawks fans have told me, it's a good signing to help you with special teams. So, no, I think depth is so important in the NFL where people are getting injured more and more.
Yep, definitely. One quick question we get you out of here. Are you worried about the Jalen Carter Pro Day? I've been seeing a lot of, interesting comments on that. Some people thinking that you shouldn't be able to be playing that bad at your Pro Day. Are you worried about it? And if he is there, because it looks like his stock is finna drop, do you think the Bears should get him at 9 if he's around?
I'm more concerned with the fact that he showed up overweight. I'm more concerned about that, which is hilarious coming from an overweight man. But I don't play professional football. And if he would have showed up in shape on a Monday, but he just had a bad pro day, I would not care if I was a GM. I would say I'm still drafting him. But showing up overweight makes me think you don't take this seriously enough. Now, you can always say, oh, he's just a kid. I don't care, man. I don't care. You're about to become a millionaire. Be set for the rest of your life. And I'll be honest, you have it so much easier than most human beings in life. Yeah. And all you have to do is just stay in shape. I mean, literally all he has to probably do is get up, probably go running for 30 minutes. If you even want to do it simplified, do a couple bench presses, do a couple squats, do a couple deadlifts, and you probably can stay in a relatively great shape. You won't be as fit as you can, but you can stay in relatively positive shape. Ballooning to what Jalen Carter was kind of shows that he doesn't care about the process. Or if he doesn't care about the process, he's far too distracted to focus on it. Now, of course, you have to deal with the fact that he's dealing with the court issues and everything, but I'm trying to find his how much he weighed, because I want to say he came in at 323 on his pro day. He was 9 pounds heavier than he was. So update from his pro day where he was 9 pounds heavier than at the NFL Combine and could not finish his position drills. Now, 9 pounds, of course, quite a few of that can be water weight. It could be stress from what he's dealing with. And this is where I do think that I probably got to walk back my own comments. When you talk to the person individually, have chats with Jalen Carter, see what's going on. It could just be stress that led to this because 9 pounds, I don't know how much water weight can change. I know you can get a couple pounds of water weight, and he just could have been dealing with the stress from all that was going on. So I'm thinking your best bet is to talk to him first, see where his head is, but then maybe move on because that work ethic, and then will it fit with the hits principle guy, Matt Eberflus, who is a very disciplined person from even our conversations. If you're not going to be giving it your all,
if you're not a football guy, you're not going to.
If you're not a football guy,
Yeah.
If you're not taking it seriously, I don't think Eberflus is going to want you on his team.
Yeah.
So at the same time, man,
The tape never lies.
that tape is amazing.
The tape never lies.
I had conversation with a few Bears fans and saying, well, you know, he had to take some plays off. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't as in shape as he probably could have been. And he wasn't in there like that every single down guy. Like you don't see Aaron Donald take too many plays off. And so sure, that's concerned, but I mean, you're talking about not only a physical specimen, which I hate when people say this, it sounds like I'm at a slave auction, but when we're talking about just a person who is athletically and genetically gifted, he's fast, he's quick, and he's strong. This is a man who was bulldozing centers, but also getting off the line so quickly and getting past them with finesse. And the question you have to be, is that worth the gamble at 9? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if not, you can go, he's a Buckeye. Is it Paris Brown?
Paris Johnson.
Paris Johnson, sorry.
I should not know that over you.
I know. Me as a Buckeye fan talking like that, but I couldn't. All I had was Brown in my hand, probably from Orlando Brown. But that or taking someone like Paris Johnson, which Paris Johnson's a sure bet. Yeah. So part of me still said take Jalen Carter, brother. I'm not going to lie to you.
I trust in Ryan Pohl's evaluation, man. So I know that he'll make the best decision. And
I don't trust his evaluation, but so far so good.
Okay, yeah, that's I trust it, but you know I'm more trusting you.
I've been burned before, Scott.
We all have. We've all been burned before, but I want to believe again. But we will be there at the draft in like a month to see exactly what goes down. We almost gave you like a mini episode of 7 Nights in Dallas today. Yeah, we'll be recording another episode in probably about 10 days. We're gonna wait for the rest of free agency to shake out. Then we'll get into episode 2 of our off-season breakdown, do a full breakdown for y'all 4. But as usual, it's always good talking to you, man. So let people know what they can get in tune with you.
Shout out to John Morant and his PR episode with Jay. That was hilarious. You can find me at Flows Andolini on Twitter, on IG. That's basically where you can find me. If you see a long thread on the 7 Nights in Dallas page, know it's me. Yes. If you see someone yelling and calling people out of their names, know it's Scott.
That's how you know the difference. I'm glad our listeners know the difference, man. But thanks for coming on, bro.
See you.
All right. So we're going to get into some more stuff. I apologize for the technical difficulties. The internet was a little slow over there. But, you know, it's all good. We're going to power through. That's what we do with live shows. So now let's get into more NFL stuff. Aaron Rodgers is not officially a New York Jet. We still got to wait for the actual trade compensation to be agreed upon. But I just can't get this fucking smile off my face. Like, I don't know. I am very fucking happy. And look, man, Packer fans, y'all got to shut the fuck up while grown folks talking now. And that brings me so much joy. And not only that, that's a lot of bandwagon Packer fans out there. Like my brother said, we have a cousin, we love him. He's not actual real Packer fan. He just got down because they're Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of y'all who do that. And now you ain't got nowhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? For the first time in my life, first time in my life as a Bears fan, I can say the Bears have a better quarterback than the Green Bay Packers. It sounds good. It smells good. It just feels fucking right. And like we all said, the Bears still have a lot more to go. I'm not expecting this team to be a Super Bowl contender this year. My expectations is they can go from 3 wins to 8 or 9 wins. You might say that's a huge fucking jump. It is. But if you look at how they played last year, the Bears could have had 5 to 6 more wins than they actually had. They went to all these games, went down to the fucking wire. And I believe they can at least get in that wild card hunt. They are in the JV league of the NFL. All of the powerhouse quarterbacks are over there in the AFC. The only quarterback you really got to worry about is Jalen Hurts. So I'm very excited about that. But let's get into the actual football side of things for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Now, I have a lot of Jets fans, homies. They text me the last couple of days. They're excited. And I'm like, however excited you are, multiply that times 100, and that's exactly where I'm at with it. But I think this is a great move for the Jets. First of all, they fucked up by drafting Zach Wilson. I think that was very apparent this year. They have a team that is ready to roll. Now, there's few things more frustrating in sports, but especially in football, when you have everything on the team that you need except the quarterback. And basketball is knowing if you've got everything you need, but you don't have a superstar. Kind of like what the Brooklyn Nets are. The Brooklyn Nets have a pretty good team. If they had a superstar, I don't know, like one of the 2 they traded last month. they will be a contender. So it's the same thing. They had a great running game last year before Breece Hall got injured. Great defense. Great defense. And Sauce Gardner, defensive rookie of the year, he was just amazing. They got a great receiving core. I love Garrett Wilson. I wanted Garrett Wilson on the Bears so bad. He's amazing. And they got a real good head coach in Robert Saleh, and I love everything that they're doing over there with the Jets. You add a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Look, Aaron Rodgers is a clown. I call him Caucasian Kyrie. And that's actually not to compare him to Kyrie, because Kyrie is a way better person. Kyrie's not a bad person. He just be standing on dumb shit. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a legit bad person. Like, so it's a different thing. But if we just talking about on the football field, he can still play ball. He still got a little something in him. And even 39-year-old, maybe 70% of what he used to be, Aaron Rodgers is better than anything the Jets have had in their entire franchise history. And I think this is something where they can be a legit contender in the AFC. We all know it's still Patrick Mahomes territory. You still got the road to the Super Bowl or the road to Vegas next year goes through Kansas City, goes through Arrowhead Stadium. We know that. We know Joey Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals ain't going nowhere. We know that, Justin Herbert now has, a new offensive coordinator. They can do some things. And we all know about Josh Allen's trying to come back. But Aaron Rodgers is going to get right up there in the mix. And I think he can do something and take the AFC East away from the Bills. The Bills have lost a lot of people, lost a lot of players during this offseason. I mean, the Bears took one of them. The Bears took their best linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds. So there's things that they've got to worry about right there. They still got to figure out how they're going to do with the offense. Offense is one-dimensional. Look at the Patriots. Patriots ass. They are paying the bill for being on top for 20 years with Tom Brady. Like my man Mordo and Dr. Strange said, the bill always comes due. And that is what the Patriots are paying, and that's what the Packers are getting ready to pay. So you stick them in there, I think it's a two-team race. Not two teams. I don't want to disrespect Buffalo, but I think the favorites is either the Jets or the Miami Dolphins. And that's all considering they can keep Tua out of the damn blue tent. You know what I'm saying? We don't need his brain looking like hamburger helper by week 7. If they can keep him out of that, they're going to be a contender to get to it. But Aaron Rodgers, it's a good move for the Jets. And right now, we just wait to see what the compensation again. Now, one thing I love from the Pat McAfee interview yesterday, and by the way, salute to Pat McAfee, man. As a guy in this media space, I look up to what he's doing so much. A guy who is playing the game by his own rules and giving everybody the finger while he's doing it. I honor the fuck out of that, and I plan to do that shit as well. He had everybody, and this is how you know that him and Aaron Rodgers are really friends. Rodgers announced it on his show. There was 500,000 people watching his show yesterday. That is insanity. So when Rodgers was on there, to me, Aaron Rodgers cut his Tupac Picture Me Rolling ran on there. He basically threw the Packers under the bus. I think any type of leverage the Packers did have is done. Because if you listen to that interview, he's like, look, you can take all day and try to play hardball. I'll quit. I'll fucking retire. And then that cap hits them. And it's just a dead cap, and it's going to be everything that's just bad for the Packers. I think the Packers thinking they want the Matthew Stafford haul is ludicrous. It's just not going to fucking happen. They just need to go out there, get what they can get, send Aaron on his merry way, and start your eternal rebuild. And let me know I'll tell you where to get the beer in the bottom of the NFC North, since we've been down there so fucking long. I'll show you where's the best areas to sleep over there, Packer fans, because you're fucking done. But I think it's a good move for the New York Jets, man. There's going to be some fun football there. And I think they'll be the best football team in New York City, because I'm not buying that shit that the fucking Giants re-signing Daniel Jones. We're going to get to one of the moves I did like from them, but that's how I feel about Rodgers and the Jets, man. And let's talk about some big moves, notable moves in free agency. There's been some trades and moves. I really circled it to 3 moves that I think non-Bears moves that I really, really liked. Jalen Ramsey. Mr. Jalen Ramsey. He's not the best corner in the league anymore, but he's still top 5. Jalen Ramsey is still elite. Jalen Ramsey is a Super Bowl champion. Jalen Ramsey is the second best cornerback to ever come out of FSU. We all know who number 1 is. Mr. Primetime himself. Let's not be disrespectful. But Jalen Ramsey's great. Super Bowl champion. He got traded to Miami Dolphins for a 2023 third rounder. Now, the rebuild is on at SoFi Stadium. Now, I've said this outside of this show as somebody who's been a Los Angeles resident for almost 10 years. This is not a big football city. The kings of football here are the USC Trojans. And yes, the Rams do have a fan base. But this is a team, this is a city where has a lot of split allegiance. There's a lot of Bears fans out here. There's a ton of fucking Cowboy fans out here specifically because the Cowboys do their training camps out here. There's a lot of Packer fans out here. There's a lot of Niner fans. There's a lot of Raider fans. So it's a lot of shared loyalty here. I think they're gonna have a hard time selling out SoFi Stadium this season because the Rams are gonna be god awful. We even hear about the rumors that they might be trading Matthew Stafford. Now, Les Snead came out and said, no, we're not trading him. But I never believe what GM said this time of year. But he might be on the trading block. They're going to be bad again next year. Like I just said a couple seconds ago, the bill comes due. And the fuck them picks, which I am 100% for, and Twitter had to stop having this debate about, is it worth it? They won the championship. Yes, it's fucking worth it. Now, do you have to pay the bill? Yes, but that's a nice, expensive bill that I wouldn't mind paying. If you're a fan of a team, you would kill to pay that bill. So I have no problem with that, but they got to pay that right now. And the Chargers are the Chargers. Nobody out here in Los Angeles County gives a shit about the Chargers. I think they're going to have a hard time filling out SoFi, but I really love this move for the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins defense last year was god-awful. It was just terrible on the ground, passing, just bad in general. This offense can put up points when Tua's healthy. I'm going to keep saying that because this is a legit concern now. If Tua can stay healthy, I love this move, and I really think that this is going to be and this is not to be disrespectful to Buffalo, because I keep saying that. I don't think that Buffalo's going to be a bad team, but they lost a lot of key pieces, and we always see Stephon Diggs over on the shop, contemplating like, I don't know what else we have to do to win, and their offense is already one-dimensional. I really think that if Tua can stay up and right, it's going to be him and Aaron Rodgers for the AFC East, man. But I love that Jalen Ramsey move. Another one. This one, I won't say I love it because I kind of feel like they downgraded him. In fact, I don't love it, but it's noteworthy. Jimmy G is now a Las Vegas Raider. Now, today he's supposed to have the press conference. It was held up. Now, a couple Raiders writers from the Athletic said the deal is not in jeopardy. But there's a couple things that had to get tightened up. So I'm guessing that the press conference will be later this week. I'm not expecting a Carlos Correa, San Francisco Giants situation here. But the reason I say they downgraded because first of all, I fuck with Jimmy G. I fuck with Jimmy G. Like I said on Twitter, hey man, watch your woman out there in Vegas because Jimmy G is finna be on the prowl. Jimmy G in Vegas, watch your girl, man. But Jimmy G, I feel it. He's a winner. Jimmy G's a winner. Jimmy G has one of the great careers in sports. This dude he gets great money. He's with all these beautiful women, and he's two-time Super Bowl champion, sitting in the back seat to Tom Brady, and he makes a lot of money, and he gets to go from San Francisco to Las Vegas. That is a great fucking career to me. Not as great as Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Jalen Ramsey went from Los Angeles to Miami, Florida, as a rich man. Has got to be amazing. Because Los Angeles and Miami are amazing, even when you're not rich. So I can imagine what it's like for Jalen Ramsey going for them two cities. But Jimmy G is doing this thing. I don't think he's as good as quarterback as Derek Carr. So that's why I feel it's an upgrade. And I still don't understand why they didn't get in the Aaron Rodgers race. That's why I don't think it's an upgrade either. And also why it's even more head-scratching is because of the next move. Darren Waller, who was going to be his number 2 target outside Devontae Adams, they just traded away to the New York Giants for a 2023 third rounder. Now, I like this move for the Giants. It gives them a target considering their receiving core is straight up ass. Straight up ass. That's a good target for Daniel Jones. Now, I don't think Daniel Jones was a good quarterback, but I do love this move for them. But I'm very, very confused about what they're doing in Vegas. I think Jimmy G will be decent for them. I don't think they will be a quote-unquote bad football team because Jimmy G is not a bad quarterback. But in order to have Jimmy G work to your advantage, you got to surround him with the best of talent like San Francisco did, which is why they went to 3 straight NFC Championship games and going to the Super Bowl or 1 play away from winning the Super Bowl. So that I don't understand. But those are the 3, noteworthy moves that I really picked up from this week. And I just love the NFL offseason, man. It's finally fun because the last 3 years has really become like the NBA as far as being a 24/7, 365 league. As soon as this is over in about a week, we all full into draft mode, man. What are the Carolina Panthers going to do? Are the Arizona Cardinals going to be trading down? So we're going to be doing a lot of draft coverage. coming up over these next couple weeks. And of course, I will be at the NFL draft. I might do some type of content while I'm down there for the show. I'm not 100% what I'm going to do, but we're going to do some fun stuff with the draft coming up. But that's all I've got for my NFL coverage. Let's do a little NBA before we get up out of here, man. Mr. Morant. Morant, news came out yesterday that he was officially suspended by the NBA for 8 games. Now, kind of like when you go to prison for a little bit, he will have time served. So he really is only going to miss the next 2 games. He's eligible to come back Monday against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski and the Memphis Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins said do not expect him to play Monday, as they're going to make this not to rush Ja back, because not only is he hasn't played a game in 10 days, he hasn't even picked up a basketball in 10 games. So they're going to get him ready. But I have a couple thoughts on this matter. I watched his interview with Jalen Rose this morning. Couple things. One, Ja is suffering a lot of losses right now. His debut signature shoe at Nike is still not out, which is interesting. Something that Nike obviously is upset about because they ditched Kyrie for him. His Powerade ad got shelved, and because of these games missed and the loss of pay, he's lost $700,000 already, and he's going to be losing $40 million because of something in his contract to do with the amount of games he's missed and not being able to be on certain teams. He's going through a lot right now. Now, my thing is this. I felt Jalen Rose was the best person to interview Ja. Number one, I think Jalen Rose is really, really good at his job. He's been doing – his media career has been great ever since he retired about 20 years ago, and he's also one of my favorite players. I just love Jalen Rose as a player, not only the time that he had with Indianapolis, but I loved him when he was with the Bulls. In a little short time he was with the Bulls. I'm a big Jalen Rose fan. But I feel like this interview could have been done better. First of all, Jalen, I love you, man, but Jesus, that was a police-ass question you asked Ja. So whose gun was it? I was like, is this fucking DJ Vlad interviewing him? Like, what the hell is going on? And I'm not here to say whether Ja is sincere or not, because that's not my place to say that. But you can 100% tell that this interview was PR'd up and was written by the NBA word for word, because none of it made sense. I didn't really feel like, oh, okay, this dude has really learned from his mistakes. But maybe he is. He's only 23. You know, these younger dudes, they process things differently. They the emotion sometimes is a little different. And I know I sound like an old head sound like an old head when I say this, but it is what it is. But I think that we need to move on from this, man. Ja's a young guy. He's 23. And like I said, I'm not abolishing him of anything. He did some stupid ass shit. And I don't even like the thing, well, what were you doing at 23? Well, I wasn't beating up teenagers and brandishing guns in a strip club. So, you know, I don't want to give him a pass, but at the same time, I think that he has learned his lesson here. You know, he hasn't played. He's missed 10 days. He's going to miss 8 or more games. He has lost millions of dollars. His 2 current endorsements are kind of on hold right now. And, you know, now he's really being looked at as kind of not like a failure, but like he's letting not just his team down, but the NBA down, because he can be one of the faces of this league. We're about to enter this transition period of getting away from the old guard of LeBron James, the Stephen Currys, the Kevin Durant's. He can be one of the faces of the league, and I really feel like that's why Adam Silver was like, let's just get him out there and take care of this right now. But I feel like he's paid his debt. And it's time to move on. I'm rooting for Ja. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I'm not don't want to destroy him. The dude didn't kill anybody. Nah, he could have killed somebody, but he didn't kill anybody. I think he learned his lesson. Let's move on. Let's worry about him playing basketball. Let's see about how far he can take this Memphis Grizzlies team. And I just feel like sometimes we're doing too much. And even with the Memphis Grizzlies saying, well, they're not going to stay overnight in cities like Atlanta and Miami. It's like, dude, like you act like he did like some John Wick shit. Like, let's chill the fuck out for a minute, man. Let's keep this in perspective. He's a young dude. He fucked up, but hopefully he'll learn and go and take this and go even higher heights, kind of like Allen Iverson did, man. So I'm rooting for Ja. But that interview was cringeworthy, man. It was cringeworthy, but I understand it had to happen. But let's just move on from this and focus on the hoops, man. Last topic before we get to my Goofy Mog of the week, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bar none. Like this at this point, it shouldn't be a conversation. He's the best player in the NBA. He's been the best player in the NBA for, I believe, the last 2-3 years. And I said, not just on this show the last couple weeks, not just on my podcast, Ball Don't Lie, last couple weeks, not just on Twitter. I said that we got to start acting like Nikola Jokic doesn't have this MVP on lock. And while I do believe that he's still going to come home with the trophy, and the Nuggets are just going through one of them late season lows because they've been dominant so damn long, kind of like what the Celtics are going through right now. You know, I'm way more concerned about the Celtics. Giannis is coming. Giannis is coming. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, they've been on a tear since the month of February. We all know about their 16-game win streak. They are 50-19. They are the only team in basketball with 50 wins. They are 4 clear of the Denver Nuggets and 2.5 clear of the Boston Celtics. And this has been with dealing with a lot of injuries. They've been trying to integrate Chris Middleton back in. You know, Drew Holiday has really helped hold the fort. You know, they've been doing great with having Jake Crowder. I really love what he's brought to the team. And can we get some love from Brook Lopez, who I think should be the defensive player of the year? He's been great. And all that, he's out here bodying. This dude, man, in his last couple games, on the 14th, on Tuesday, against the Suns, 36 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. The night before that, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He missed 3 games prior to that. And then he had 23, 13, and 9, 34 and 13, 31, 7 and 6, 33, 15. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. And I don't know if he will win it because we might be getting greatest player in the league fatigue. And I do feel a lot of the conversation around Jokic is unfair. And let's just keep it a buck. A lot of y'all just saying this because he white. And I understand he white, but we ain't got to lie about the skill. Jokic is one of the best players in the NBA, whether you want to disagree about it or not. I love Giannis. I love Jokic. I love Embiid. Embiid ain't getting that MVP, dog. And it's really just because of how the Sixers are playing. But I do think it's going to go down to the wire now. If Giannis can keep playing at this level and the Milwaukee Bucks finish with the number 1 overall seed in the NBA like I feel they will, there might be a discussion here, man. So Giannis might shut me up, but I still think that Jokic is going to win it, but it's going to be close, man. But also the MVP discussion, like everything on NBA Twitter, is becoming exhausting. I don't like it. I think a lot of people aren't realizing this is a regular season award. Now, the NBA, they have some part to blame in this with them, you know, giving the award out like doing the conference finals. But let's just be smarter when it comes to these conversations, man. Accept Jokic for what he is. Now, there's a lot of pressure on him this offseason. If him and Denver don't at least get to the NBA finals, there's gonna be a lot of conversation. But this one, I think, is gonna be a lot closer than I originally thought, man. So we're gonna see this go down to the wire. Time to wrap this episode up. My Goofy Mog of the week. I'm gonna give this to a lot of people complaining about the World Baseball Classic. By the way, some of the best baseball you can watch. If you are not a fan of this, well, I understand baseball is a acquired taste. Not everybody likes it. I love baseball. It's my second favorite sport after football. But if you watch these games and just the atmosphere that you see with all these teams playing so passionately for their countries, it's just been some amazing stuff to watch. And last night, after Puerto Rico won against the Dominican Republic, which was a great game. Shout out to my homie Mikey. He was holding it down in Miami, rooting for for Puerto Rico. New York Mets closer Edwin Diaz tore the patella tendon in his right knee during a celebration, and he will need surgery and is going to miss the rest of the season. That is a tremendous blow for the Mets. He's one of the best closers in baseball. But the problem I have is with people saying that we should abolish MLB players playing in the WBC because they're playing for no reason. Now they're getting hurt and fucking up their teams. Let's just cut the shit, man. Injuries can happen anywhere. We just watched the Dodgers lose their shortstop, Gavin Lux, because he tore his ACL in spring training. Okay, and that's less contact there, like spring fucking training. We've seen this happen time and time again. As a White Sox fan, I can give you the horror stories for spring training. Eloy Jimenez, trying to play like it's fucking July, hopping over fences to get balls, and he misses 75% of the season. It happens all the time. And I also feel like there's a little racism involved here because a lot of y'all are mad that they're playing for other countries. These games are not meaningless. Look at how elated that team was, why they were celebrating to begin with, because of the country pride that they have. And this is something where I feel like it needs to be more encouraged. People love playing for their team. Even look at the American squad. Tim Anderson. I love TA. I ain't seen him play that damn hard in long ass time. He out there playing second base. He cried every time the White Sox want to play second base. He's out there playing hard. Mookie's doing hard. Mike Trout, we need to get this man in the postseason because the clutch play that he has, that late 2-run home run the other night was incredible. We need to see him more out there. And this is great games. It really just shows the beauty of baseball from each and every side of it. It is an international game. Honestly, it's not America's pastime anymore. That is the NFL. That is football. This is a world game that everybody is so attached to. And to see these players go out there and give their alls for their countries, I think it's a beautiful thing and needs to be encouraged. Freak accidents happen all the time. And it sucks for Edwin Diaz. I hope he gets better. I hope that, he's in good spirits right now. I'm pretty sure he's disappointed, not just because he can't play for Puerto Rico, but especially because he can't play for the Mets right now. But I'm pretty sure if you asked him, he'd do it again. And I really love the country pride from everybody with this man. I feel like it needs to be encouraged. I want to see more people playing for their country. Now, there's a couple people who playing for other countries, and they really Americans, and they need to cut the fucking shit. But that's a whole nother fucking debate. Marcus Stroman, you in violation. I'll talk about that on later time, maybe on summer sessions. But Groovy Market Week to all y'all who hating on the WBC, man. It's great baseball. Freak accidents happen all the time. Put that hater, racist shit away, man. Fuck that. That's all I got for y'all today. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. If you want more in-depth analysis, if it was too frozen for you, I apologize. We will be breaking down all the Bears signings in more discrete detail in about 10 days. That episode should be dropping on the 27th. We'll be doing our free agency breakdown podcast, part of our 9-episode all-season 79th and Hallis coverage. Check that out. Me and my brother Flows, man, we appreciate all y'all for checking out our podcast. We couldn't do this without y'all. One announcement. We are looking for new talent at the Barber's Chair Network. If you are interested in becoming a podcast host, a content creator, we are hiring. We are looking. What I mean by hire, we're bringing on, because I ain't got no money to pay y'all. I got $1 in the drain to give y'all, so you got to be down with the vision. We ain't got no funds right now, but if you're looking to join this amazing crew we have over here, please DM us at Barber's Chair Net right now. Send us any video or audio clips that you have of you talking or doing anything regarding sports or entertainment coverage, and we will DM you with more details, man. We're looking for that. We're trying to have a couple new people host some of these podcasts. We got a couple current podcasts that are already going on, man. So we are looking for new talent, and we're gonna start a whole process. I'm gonna get my whole Diddy into making the band on, man. So I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing y'all, clips that y'all send, man. So once again, shout out to my super producer, Pat Vito. You can follow him at Pat V World on Twitter and Instagram. Visit patverbs.com. He's got some new music coming for y'all real soon. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barbchair Scott. Follow HMB Media at HMB Media on Instagram and at HMB Media TV on Twitter. Follow the Barber's Chair Network on Twitter and Instagram at Barber's Chair Net. Subscribe to the Patreon. Patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. We didn't have any episodes of Summer Session and Cinema with the Guys this week because of some scheduling issues. We will be back next week. Me and Dante will be breaking down the final 2 episodes of BMF. Before we get started on getting ready to break down an actual great TV show, which is Succession. So look out for that. And then Summer Sessions, we'll be back next week. Bang could not record this past week, so it'll be all the guys be back, me, Bang, Pav, Merk. So look out for that. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. And yeah, man, we'll holler at y'all next week. We out.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna